Vancouver's Canada Place, we boarded the Royal Princess, crossed under Lionsgate Bridge, and sailed south to open sea before heading north to Alaska. Ketchikan is typically known as Alaska's first city to northbound travelers. It's a waterfront town that showcases its maritime history. In 1883, a salmon saltery opened and a fishing town was born. Creek Street is the most photographed street in Alaska. Although once rough and rowdy where fishermen went to spawn, it's now populated with lovely parks, shops, and galleries. Our Lighthouse, Totems and Eagles excursion with Captain Wes Hott took us to beautiful panoramas of Tongass National Forest. Stunning artwork and Alaskan cultural history were captured in native totem poles. There was a plethora of American bald eagle sightings, and we learned the facts and legends of Guard Island Lighthouse. We were awakened this morning to learn that high winds would prevent us from safely navigating our ship through a narrow pass of Tracy Arms Fjord approach to Juneau. So without a port of call, we would enjoy an extra day aboard our Royal Princess with a splendid view of Alaska's gorgeous coastal mountains nearby. This morning we arrived in Skagway, where we could literally walk from our ship into town. Gold seekers came pouring in here upon news of Alaska's gold rush in 1897. The Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park covers a 6-block area where wooden sidewalks and restored storefronts help paint a colorful picture of its illustrious past. By 1900, it was a bustling town with more than 80 bars, including the Red Onion. The White Pass and Yukon Route Railway was built in 1898. We took the 20 miles of steep grades and cliff-hanging turns to seek out our own fortune of great memories en route to White Pass Summit and back. Our day began with a briefing in Princess Theater by Ranger Molly Delansher and crew. They came aboard packing a complete National Park Visitor Center experience. We had exhibits, brochures, pamphlets, a gift shop full of merchandise, and a full day of programming.
I think truly the most amazing part of being in Glacier Bay is not only that you get to understand this very human time-scaled history. We're not talking about millions of years here. We're talking about a few hundred years of incredible change that has happened all around us. But today, you get to explore the intricacies of what it means to live in a glacial landscape. And let me tell you that here, the more and more time I spend here, the more time I am out in this wilderness, what I've grown to understand is that every single little component is connected.
With a ranger narrator and guide on the bridge with crew, we had close-up visits to each glacier, including the majestic Marjorie and Grand Pacific. Other rangers on deck answered questions and helped us watch for wildlife. On June 26, 1899, a party of 23 scientists navigated Fjord as part of an ambitious research expedition. The glaciers were named after their Ivy League alma maters and sister schools. Harvard was the last of 5 glaciers in a row as we entered College Fort. Its face, 1.5 miles wide, shows off its 200-foot thick depth and stretches 24 miles back to the Chugach ice field. From Whittier, we boarded our Princess direct to the Wilderness train for the 9-hour trip to Denali National Park. While enjoying magnificent wilderness, river, and mountain landscapes and a sit-down lunch, park rangers came aboard to share history and culture of the region and to prepare us for tomorrow's great adventure.
Blossom happened about 2.5 weeks ago. So if you showed up, in another couple and a half weeks, maybe beginning of October, it'd probably be winter here. Winter's about 9 months long here. It's a long one and it's a cold one too. And some of the
Formerly Mount McKinley, the name changed to Denali in 1980 to honor the Athabascan natives' name for the mountain, as Denali means the High One. Our wildlife adventure took us over 60 miles into the park's backcountry on unpaved roads for naturalist photo opportunities of a lifetime. Constantly on the lookout for Denali's Big Five, moose, bear, wolves, caribou, and Dall sheep, our driver used the ultimate camera and telescopic lens to project live images from a half-mile away onto screens above our seats, making use of cell phone cameras possible. By lunchtime, our bus had arrived at Steamboat Landing, the chain of rivers Discovery Steamboat adventure. Longtime Alaska bush pilot friend Jim Willis, my roommate from Vietnam War days, met us at the dock, joined the tour, and became our personal guide. A bush pilot friend of Jim's took off and landed next to our boat, and then explained the vital role these planes play in remote Alaska. Then came a first-hand look at Athabascan frontier living with our visit to Chena Village. Athabascan cabins always included a cache for storing supplies and fur pelts. Wolf, fox, or beaver were used to provide food and protection in these harsh Arctic climates. Our steamboat adventure ended with a visit to the late Iditarod champion Susan Butcher's home and kennel. Susan's husband and daughter were on hand to give us a look at kennel life and share the challenges of making a champion dog sled team.
The team, I hope that the brakes are working so we don't end up in the river. Okay, nicely done, David. Another great run.
Well, thank you very much. It's these guys, though, that really deserve the praise because they're the ones that do the hard work. So after every run, as you can see, every dog gets a pat on the head, and then it's time to play. I just had to break there a little bit. I thought they would have jumped in the water and go get a free donut there.
Yeah, you know, blueberries are very good for you after all. And, David, I was mentioning when you were coming back.
Jim's Piper float plane then took to the skies. He first flew Sherry to a mountain lake, landed, shut down the engine, opened the windows and told her, "Just listen." Now that's Alaska. Even today, she treasures that moment. Jim and I then flew over to a touch-and-go landing at International Airport's Seaplane Pond. Alaskans can fly in and tie up at the seaplane port to catch their commercial flights. We began our day at Antler Arch, the most photographed spot in Fairbanks. Our morning at the galleries and museums of Pioneer Park, a 44-acre historical theme park, was another wonderful lesson in Alaskan history and culture. This locomotive was restored over a 10-year period by friends of the Tanana Valley Railroad Museum. It's the oldest operating steam locomotive in Alaska and the Yukon Territory. The Air Museum houses aircraft and memorabilia from air adventures of yesteryear with aircraft used in Alaska from 1913 to 1948. After a quick driving tour of North Pole and lunch, our day concluded at Jim's home before saying goodbye and flying out the next morning. This Alaskan adventure was an awe-inspiring journey through some of the most beautiful and majestic landscapes in the world. We caught a glimpse of Alaska's past at Ketchikan and Skagway. At Glacier Bay and College Fjord, we witnessed the power and beauty of these magnificent glaciers. And then we experienced the grandeur and spectacle of the Denali Outback. And finally, we saw Alaska through the eyes of an old friend. His best advice? Just listen. Listen to unspoiled wilderness where profound beauty, tranquility, and serene landscapes speak for themselves.